Monty Python's Flying Circus revolutionized comedy with surreal sketches and outrageous humor. But behind the laughter were dark truths that reveal how the Pythons changed television forever. Fact 1.
Hello, Polly! Polly!
When Monty Python's Flying Circus debuted in 1969, BBC executives were confused. They didn't understand the bizarre humor or surreal sketches. Some believed it was too strange for mainstream audiences. The ratings for the first few episodes were modest at best. Several BBC officials wanted to cancel it immediately. They argued it was too risky for primetime comedy, but a small group of supporters fought to keep it alive. These included younger staff who believed in experimental television. They convinced the BBC to commission a second series. That decision changed comedy history forever. Without it, Monty Python might have vanished quickly. The risk nearly destroyed the show before it began, but persistence kept it alive long enough to build an audience. The second series attracted a cult following. Word of mouth spread across universities and young audiences. By the third series, it became a cultural phenomenon. The early threat of cancellation haunted the group. They knew how close they came to losing everything, and it proved the show's survival was almost a miracle.
Flipped over on his Betty Harpers and caught his can in the batty.
Fact 2.
Freedom!
It's only a bloody parking offence.
The Pythons constantly pushed boundaries. Sketches often mocked authority, religion, and politics. The BBC censors repeatedly intervened. Entire sketches were cut for being offensive. A sketch mocking the Queen was removed before broadcast. Jokes about sex were often toned down, but the group fought back fiercely. They argued censorship ruined the humour. John Cleese once threatened to quit over restrictions. Terry Gilliam's animations were also censored for nudity. The battles created tension with executives, but controversy only boosted the show's reputation. Fans loved the rebellious spirit. Banned sketches became legendary through word of mouth. The censorship wars fueled the Pythons' creativity. They learned to push jokes even further. It established them as comedy anarchists, and it showed how dangerous humour could be on British TV. The fight with the BBC shaped their identity forever.
Do you want?
Fact 3.
David.
Shaw.
No, Thomas.
Thomas Shaw.
No, David Thomas.
The Pythons looked united on screen, but off-screen clashes were constant. John Cleese and Terry Gilliam argued about creative control. Cleese wanted sharper scripts. Gilliam wanted more surrealism. Eric Idle preferred commercial opportunities, angering others. Michael Palin often played peacemaker. Terry Jones grew frustrated when sidelined. The group's egos frequently collided. Cleese even quit before the final season. The others resented his departure. It left scars that lasted for years. Money disputes also caused bitterness. Idle was accused of chasing profits with songs and tours, yet the conflict added energy to their work. The friction created unpredictable brilliance, but it also destroyed long-term unity. The comedy empire was built on constant tension. Behind the laughs was a group on the verge of collapse, and that instability defined Monty Python's chaotic genius.
He doesn't do anything. He just sits out there on the lawn.
Is he dead?
Fact 4.
When you're all walking home tonight and some homicidal maniac comes after you with a bunch of Loganberries, don't come crying to me!
Monty Python's irreverence angered politicians. Members of Parliament denounced the show in Parliament. They claimed it mocked British values. Sketches ridiculing the establishment caused outrage. A sketch about government incompetence triggered complaints. The BBC received letters from angry viewers weekly. Some called it disgusting and anti-British. Yet young audiences adored the rebellion. The controversy fueled the show's popularity. Politicians feared it encouraged disrespect for authority. It became a symbol of counterculture resistance. The backlash nearly led to cancellation. Executives debated whether to bow to pressure. But ratings kept the show alive. The political outrage became free publicity. It cemented Monty Python as dangerous comedy. The tension with authority shaped their legend, and it proved humour could shake even governments. Comedy had never felt so subversive on British television.
Well, there's egg and bacon, egg, sausage and bacon, egg and spam, egg, bacon and spam.
Fact 5.
Hello, Polly! Polly!
One of their most famous sketches was almost abandoned. The dead parrot idea grew out of an earlier skit. Originally, Cleese and Palin wrote a sketch about faulty cars, but they feared it was too ordinary. So they replaced the car with a parrot. The absurdity transformed it into genius. Yet producers initially rejected it as too silly. Cleese fought to keep it in the show. He believed it captured Monty Python's essence. When it finally aired, audiences were stunned. The sketch became an instant classic. It defined the group's surreal style. The dead parrot became comedy history. But it nearly vanished before being filmed. The near rejection haunted the writers. It showed how fragile comedy brilliance can be. Without it, the group might not have achieved global fame. The sketch became proof that absurdity could change comedy forever. And it remains one of the most quoted jokes in history.
Hello, Polly! Wakey!
Fact 6.
I don't know. How do you make a Nazi cross? Tread on his corn. God damn!
In Britain, the show faced limits, but in America, it exploded in popularity. PBS stations began airing reruns in the 1970s. University students embraced the surreal humour. It became a cult phenomenon on campuses. Merchandise and records sold in the US market. The fan base grew faster than in the UK. The Pythons were shocked by their American fame. Live tours sold out across the States. Hollywood opportunities followed quickly. Films like Monty Python and the Holy Grail were financed partly by US money. The American embrace gave them financial freedom. It also protected them from BBC hostility. American fans essentially saved the group's career. They made Monty Python a global brand. The US became the second home of their comedy. Without it, their empire might not have survived. The American cult following secured their legacy forever, and it turned them into international comedy revolutionaries.
A man with 9 legs.
He ran away.
Oh, bloody hell.
Fact 7.
And not just from us, from our fathers, and from our fathers' fathers.
And from our fathers' fathers' fathers.
Monty Python wanted to expand into movies, but financing was nearly impossible at first. Major studios rejected Holy Grail. They thought it was too weird to succeed. The group turned to private investors. Musicians like Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd funded the project. Even George Harrison mortgaged his house to support Life of Brian. The risks were enormous for everyone involved. If the films failed, fortunes would be lost. The group argued constantly about money. The pressure nearly split them apart. But the gamble paid off massively. The films became international classics. They redefined what comedy cinema could be. The near bankruptcy was quickly forgotten, but the scars of financial stress remained. It showed how fragile their empire really was, and how close they came to disaster. The films made them immortal, but at great personal risk.
Even, and I want to make this absolutely clear, even if they do say Jehovah.
Fact 8.
What is your name, Jew? Brian, sir. Brian? No, Brian. Ow!
Life of Brian became Monty Python's most controversial work. Religious groups condemned it as blasphemous. Church leaders across Britain demanded a ban. Councils in several cities prohibited screenings. Ireland and Norway banned it outright. In America, protests erupted outside cinemas. The Pythons insisted it was satire, not blasphemy. They said it mocked organised religion, not faith, but outrage spread rapidly. The film was debated on national news programmes. It became one of the most banned films in history. The bans only increased public curiosity. Audiences lined up to see it illegally. The controversy boosted its box office success. Censors unintentionally made it legendary. The group thrived on the chaos. It proved comedy could be as provocative as politics, and it cemented Monty Python as fearless satirists. The uproar made Life of Brian a cultural landmark forever.
When is your friend?
Fact 9.
A man with 9 legs.
He ran away.
Oh, bloody hell.
By the final series, tensions peaked. John Cleese announced he was leaving. He was exhausted from the workload. He also clashed constantly with fellow Pythons. The group begged him to stay, but Cleese refused, saying he needed distance. The show continued without him reluctantly, but his absence left a visible gap. Scripts were shorter and less polished. Fans noticed the decline in energy. Cleese's sharp writing had balanced the surreal chaos. Without him, the humour felt uneven. The others resented his departure deeply. It left bitterness that lasted years, yet they managed to finish the final series. The absence proved how vital Cleese was. It also showed the fragile balance of the group. His departure nearly destroyed the show, and it exposed the cracks beneath the comedy empire.
I'm sorry I'm late, blood. I couldn't find a kosher car park.
Fact 10.
Yes, it wouldn't keep still.
Monty Python's reputation today seems unstoppable, but it was born from chaos and constant fights. The show nearly died after one season. Censorship battles raged endlessly with the BBC. The members fought over money and credit. Cleese walked away before it ended. Their films almost bankrupted them. Religious outrage nearly destroyed them. And yet, the chaos fueled their genius. The instability gave the comedy its edge. Their unpredictability became their greatest strength. The rebellion defined a generation's sense of humour. They turned conflict into groundbreaking art. The group's flaws made their comedy sharper. It proved brilliance often comes from turmoil. Monty Python's legend was forged in struggle. They changed comedy by refusing to compromise, and their legacy endures because of the darkness behind the laughter.